Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your Evelyn Shorty, and yes, it's been a while. Do apologise. Really not much out last week that was worth reviewing. The stuff that I liked and enjoyed, but I kind of want to record my reviews like a good jumping on point without repeating myself a la Spider-Punk. This week, though, we are back with something brand new and original, a Batman origin story. Yes, I know, it's a joke. DC do keep making Batman origin stories the same way that Marvel keep making Spider-Man comic books. It's what they're going to do. And it's going to keep happening. We can make a joke about it, or we can just go and read some independent stuff. Do whatever you want to do. But if you're here right now, you're here because you probably want to know about a Batman origin story, and you want to know if it's good or not, because you're clearly not here for this. And it is pretty good. There's a lot of tough stuff to like about it. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. I have a lot of thoughts based on like the setting and content, and I think I'm going to might struggle to get all my thoughts in order on this one because there's a lot going on in my head right now. So apologise if this one is a little bit more rambly than usual, he says, thinking the rest of them are obviously fantastic and I don't ramble at all. So we are doing an origin story. I don't particularly mind we do origin stories. In my head it works kind of like a what-if thing, like it gives each individual creator or set of creators a chance to tell their own version of an origin story. And I think comic books work really well when you can do that as a thought experiment. What would it be like if I did this? The timing of it is really quite cool in terms of the setting time. 1939 is a good time to do something like this. There's a number of reasons why. First off, you can kind of take out a lot of the really overt super spy tech stuff that Batman has access to, like there's no fail-safe protocol and AI robot kind of stuff going on. This is literally just a guy in a costume who's trying to fight crime in ways that make sense to him. He's basically, the costume that's it. Like, he's got a utility belt, which I think he uses like once in the entire comic book. I think recall him using a grappling gun. He's literally just a guy in a costume. And that is kind of cool. Like 1939, it works, it makes sense, there's internal consistency there. It's also a time period where I think it leans quite nicely into the idea of a vigilante or somebody going outside of the law to still try and fight crime. Oh, crime noir, all cops are bastards kind of thing going on here, which I'm all in favour of. Yes, I talk about crime noir a lot at the moment. It's not my fault. I'm watching a lot of Veronica Mars. But this one, it really is quite nice. 1939 is a perfect time for it. It's before there's an awful lot of fetishization of police through media like movies and TV shows, and the cops in this of Gotham PD are very much Keystone Cops rather than, I want to say, Miami Vice, but Dragnet is probably a closer example. They are almost all, on the take, absolutely corrupt, don't take the job seriously, laugh at death, but not in a way that it's like, haha, I am so brave. It's more like, that person died, thank God it wasn't me, and making jokes about it. They are terrible. There's also a really quite nice point, we touched roughly onto the artwork here, which is fantastic, by the way. Dan Jurgens' brilliant writer, but you've got Mike Perkins and Mike Spicer doing the artwork for it. One thing they absolutely nail as an artistic choice is, I think, it reminded me of Watchmen, which is this idea that there are certain types of faces and shapes of faces you don't see anymore. But this is 1939, and they did kind of capture that really effectively. An odd thing I don't think I was going to enjoy, but I really, really did. So you've got the 1939 period, it's got a film noir aspect going on, it gives you a chance to have a vigilante which would be sympathetic, but it is still Bruce Wayne, he's still a child of privilege, he is still basically there to maintain status quo. And I know you're thinking, Shorty, you're an anarchist, you're in favour of maintaining the status quo, why do you like this comic book? Because I don't think every comic book has to appeal to exactly my internal politics. It's still a really good look at what makes him who he is and why he does what he does. But also, it does show the fact that he is, compared to some more modern iterations, slightly more willing to let some things slide. He is friends with, or at least business accomplices with, somebody who runs a whorehouse. And he puts up with this, even though he gives the guy grief because it is illegal and should be shut down, because he understands the basic idea of lesser of two evils, and that there are worse people who could be doing this kind of thing, and the fact that the women who work for this guy actually do defend him and say, yes, this is actually something which is better for me if this is here, rather than the terrible alternative. So all that going on at a time of rising fascism, Nazis are on the go, and it really doesn't pull any punches here. It makes it perfectly clear that in Western countries, specifically America and in the UK, look at the Battle of Cable Street if you don't believe me, there was a huge, thing where people wanted the Nazis to do well. Anti-Semitism has been a problem for a very long time, will continue to be. It was a problem at this point in history because it was so prevalent. It was just the way things were. All of these touchstones, all of these points that make a really good story in 1999 make it worthwhile having it here. And yes, you could say that it's been overdone with yet another origin story. We don't need to retelling. We know who Batman is now. We know who Bruce Wayne is. And you don't necessarily need to go back to the child in an alley or the bat coming through the country manor window. You can just get on with the crime fighting. And it does. It doesn't go right back to the beginning. It tells it from the point where it's exciting and interesting and it's great. And it does look cool. I mentioned briefly the artistry earlier, but those two Mikes do a fantastic job. Clearly love the place that they're setting this in. The time is fantastic. The vehicles and the buildings look beautifully of period. And Mike Spicer's colours were a revelation. I'm used to him being big and bold, working with Daniel Warren Johnson. Here it's more deep and rich, but it's still absolutely fantastic. Genuinely good start. I am looking forward to seeing where it goes, even if it is the big, oversized Black Label form, which I don't like. That's it for me for now, though. I've got lots more to review this week, so keep an eye out, and I'll hopefully be back on social media if they start working again. Until I see you again, though, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye!